Have you ever tried your best, but then you don't succeed? You got what you want, but not what you needed, and you felt so tired, but you can't sleep? Even with all the money you've earned in your life? Does cash just bring more haters and paranoia? Feel so stressed that you're suffering from your own success? Have you ever felt like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, looking to start... Okay, I think I lost my train of thought there. This video is about the decline of Ethan Klein. The Ethan decline. See, in the script I spelt that with a K, so it's a pun, it's funny. Welcome to The Absurds, my name is Gibby. The subject of today's video, H3H3 Productions. Husband and wife team Ethan and Ela Klein. They began their YouTube careers responding and reacting to viral videos with mockery, usually imitating the subjects of their videos for the sake of satire. As their audience and budget grew, they began producing their own skits, and now we've come full circle. And I, a cringy small YouTuber, am making videos reacting to them.
What we've got here today in this new reaction video by Ethan Klein of H3H3 Productions and Ela Klein back behind the camera. Shake the camera. Hi, Ela. It's about some woman who's selling diamond water. It runs through diamonds and it's blessed by the diamond's energy. Let's investigate that further and see if this diamond water is all the fuss they're saying. Diamond water combines precious ingredients for a unique and healthy drinking experience. It's a drinking experience. Apparently they're sold out, okay? Because people are going crazy. There's buzz. Thank you so much for watching. Hope that this video hydrates your thirst for diamond water. Incorporated.
After many years of YouTube success, they launched the H3H3 podcast, and moved away from their roots of mocking trends and punching upwards at viral stars who misused and abused their positions. Instead, they quickly became those out-of-touch internet celebrities they used to deride.
They work in finance and have a nice 3-bedroom condominium with their fiancée Alice and their roommate Mark. Why do they have a roommate if they're in...
Good question.
If they're in finance? You said they have a...
I didn't say they're good at finance.
Hold on. Let me back up here. You said they work in finance and have a nice 3-bedroom condominium, but they have a roommate, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't always like that. This is Vape Nation, which currently sits at 29 million views on YouTube. The conceit of this video is Ethan acting like a stereotypical stoner/vapor and filming people's reactions to him. The video starts with Ethan in his ridiculous clothes walking around in public, going to a vape store. When he arrives, he pretends to not know what he's talking about and he stays in character. The humor comes from the store owner not knowing whether to take him seriously or not.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, dude.
Heard y'all have vapes here.
Yeah, we do.
Cool, dude. Sick. So I'm looking for like something I can rip like fat on. Like the fattest rip you got here.
Bench that come like this kind. Just, build it by yourself.
So we building the perfect vape for the perfect rip.
Yeah. Nice.
Far out, dude. Vape Nation.
So what flavor do you like?
Something natural like Mountain Dew flavor or like, I don't know, Cheetos or something.
He then stands outside the Eyewitness news station to get the attention of Bill Ritter, who takes a picture of him. The video ends with Ethan in a police vehicle, still ripping those fat vapes. The stunt has succeeded. Ethan has gotten some funny reactions and mocked vape culture by impersonating over-the-top vapors on YouTube. He has successfully mimicked the absurds. But that's not the end of the story. In television, there's a phrase called jumping the shark, which is a reference to an old episode of Happy Days where the Fonz jumped over a shark on water skis. It was a ratings trap, a publicity stunt. It was a moment where the show became so ridiculous that the goal of the creators to get more views overrode their desire to make the show good. This term has come to mean the point in a TV show's life where it becomes self-parody.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day. I can do this all day. I can do this all day. I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
I can do this all day.
Haha, isn't it funny? Isn't sincerity cringe? We have to take all of our serious moments and turn them into jokes, otherwise people might think that we're trying. And I believe Ethan Klein jumped the shark on October 27th, 2017, 2 years after that original Vape Nation video. In this video, he purchased the biggest vape of all time and he walks around with it in public. It's a repeat of the first video, but now it's even more over the top. But what exactly is he parodying? He makes stoner jokes, and he blows vape everywhere, but he seemingly isn't mocking anything or anyone in particular. If you watch the original video and see him taking constant rips of his vape and coughing, you understand what he's doing. He's talking up a big game. But it's obvious he's never done this before, mocking people who act like this for real. From the cool high school kid who takes a drag from a joint to prove he's legit and then coughs his lung out, to the way too serious radical vape trick videos on YouTube, Ethan is making a point and mocking culture. He's mocking this attitude and this practice. But walking around with this Dr. Seuss-like box showing a video of Kelsey Grammer falling off stage isn't really about vaping anymore, or vape culture, or even really YouTube in general. The video ends with him making fun of Logan Paul for some reason. In one of Logan's videos, he tries on glasses that are supposed to help colorblind people see the color red, and he looks at a sunset and he has an over-the-top, obviously fake reaction. At the end of this vaping video, Ethan mimics Logan's reaction looking at a sunset.
You guys seeing this? Oh my god.
So was this video about Logan Paul? Was it about this ridiculous vape product? No, this video isn't even an ad for the product, it's an ad for the Jigsaw movie. For some reason. And Ethan doesn't really have a lot to say about the box itself. After this video, he was probably looking for literally anything to do with it because he brought it on the set of his podcast, and he occasionally will ask guests to vape from it. And it's kind of very uncomfortable. It's like he's pushing a joke or he's pushing a dead meme onto unsuspecting people.
There's a slight chance of death, but it'll be great.
There's a particularly awkward encounter where he pushes it onto Dr. Jordan Peterson. This interview with Jordan Peterson has been removed from Ethan's channel. After Peterson had some controversy over his political opinions and statements on Twitter, Ethan denounced him and deleted the episode of the podcast with him. But this clip remains as its own video on the official H3H3 channel. Does Ethan think that the power of vape rips is more important than risking his career by associating with Jordan Peterson? He obviously cared enough to denounce him publicly and delete a video with him. But apparently this video that you're about to watch is good enough that it's worth still giving him a platform in Ethan's eyes.
I just thought it'd be like when the Olympics start.
Hey, look, if it's rituals are important.
Yeah, thank you.
And if this is a ritual that's important
Okay,
to you,
so
then I'm happy to comply.
Rip it fat.
Okay, so I just breathe
Yeah,
in.
breathe in. I got the button. Fat rips. Nice. You're good. Yeah, you got it. Damn, you know how to keep it in. That's a man's ways. Well done. I want to compliment you on one of the more graceful vape hits I've seen, actually.
Yeah, you thought that was okay?
That was a fat cloud.
It's like my first time.
Yeah, no, it's very elegant and wonderful.
Thank you, thank you.
It's almost like Ethan is saying, hey, remember our first Vape Nation video? Wasn't that funny? Isn't over-the-top vaping funny? But because he's just reminding you of his original video, instead of doing what that video did and openly mocking relatable vapors and stoners, there just is no meeting. He is now parodying himself. He's jumped the shark. Vape Nation started as a funny satire of vaping, back when vape pens were first becoming all the rage and taking over headlines. But now it's just a sad reminder that Ethan is riding on the laurels of his past self instead of making anything new. This video is not meant to hate on Ethan. I used to watch his content all the time, and I listened to his podcast until the politics just became too unbearable. They were invading my personal life. I didn't need to hear them on a podcast. And I was reminded of him recently when he got himself embroiled in yet another controversy. It seems like he's really become the butt of a lot of jokes. People turn to him to watch his takes on breaking news, to make fun of him, to mock his complete lack of insight. Ethan was an everyman who could put into words the thoughts and experiences of us regular folk that we can't vocalize. His comedy was complex, and he wasn't afraid to act a bit silly to make a point. But he wasn't the joke, he was telling the joke. Now it really seems like that era is a distant memory. He can't be the everyman when he's a millionaire. He can't speak from the heart when he self-censors himself to quote the political opinions of his audience back at them out of fear of being cancelled again. He's turned on multiple friends, and while he's achieved more than I ever will, and he has a loving family and a successful business, and overall he brings joy to people, and his business employs people and gives them the means to live, it's still hard not to look at where he is now and think that somewhere along the way he failed. Something went wrong. And while your relationship with H3H3 is almost certainly different than mine, and I'm sure there's people watching this video who have never heard of Ethan, I think I can still pinpoint October 27th, 2017 as the day H3H3 died. Or maybe they just decided to hammer out a video in an afternoon without much thought, I don't know. In the years since, Ethan has talked about this particular video, claiming it was basically just thrown together in an afternoon and was meaningless. I made my video originally around 2018, and Ethan is still making content to this day in 2024. His podcast and life, if there's even a functional difference between the two, have gone through multiple changes. He made a video criticizing Trisha Paytas, who had been a long-term enemy of his, and then eventually brought her onto his podcast, where she met Hila's brother and the two got married, making her Ethan's sister-in-law. They launched a podcast called Frenemies, which itself failed as the two couldn't get along long-term. Ethan has been very vocal about his mental and physical health issues and weight. Although as time has gone on, his life has trended in a much more healthy and positive direction. After politics took over culture in 2016, Ethan found himself as a weird weather vane for issues. He had a platform to talk on, and the general public's attitude toward certain topics were reflected in what he talked about. He would receive flack from one side or the other based on the topics, guests, and opinions on his podcast. He would lose and gain favor with one side or the other as he held firm in his beliefs or changed them due to peer pressure and developing stories. The era of H3H3 as an underdog internet show, punching up at douchebags and scammers, irreverently mocking social trends and the absurdity of influencers, ended many years ago, and I do think that that era can be marked as ended with this video. But that's not the end of Ethan and Hila Klein. Their career didn't end with the floundering of their original series of videos. That's actually just where it started. This video is about the decline of H3H3, but through more controversy and life changes that I could go over in a 5-hour-long retrospective, Ethan is still kicking. He made the very rare lateral move from one kind of content to another. This vaping video wasn't the death rattle of a talentless hack resting on his laurels. It was the last attempt to be what Ethan thought people wanted him to be, but it just wasn't working anymore, and it showed. And now he's doing what he wants, and it's been working well for him, his employees, and his family. I wish him nothing but the best. He used to ask every guest that came on his podcast show if they had a ghost story to tell. And while I don't think there's any chance of me ever being on the H3H3 podcast, if you want to hear my ghost story, I'll have it linked below in the description. This video was made with the support of my backers on Patreon. A link to my Patreon is in the description below, and I also have channel memberships available. I would never ask that anybody who doesn't have disposable income donate to my channel, or any YouTuber really. If you're under 18, if you have student loans, there's no reason for you to give money to people who make videos on YouTube. But I would very much like to shout out those people who do allow these videos to get made. Klaus, Eliza, Halmar, Lauren, Morgan, Nan, Rhiannon, Rosebud, Scott, Sophie, Thomgata, Am Hidden, Haley, Jinx, Jose, Just That Spark, Rolo, Shadowmaster, Tanner McCoolman, and Genie. Thank you for watching. Be sure to be nice to each other in the comments, consider supporting the creators you admire, and never lose sight of the things that are important to you.